Hello and welcome to Crunch Time. My name is Jack Bogdan.
And my name is Alex Grinling.
And this is the news for the week of November 14th, 2010. First story, Black Ops Assassinates entertainment sales record. So Alex, you have the numbers. How well did Black Ops sell on day one?
Okay, well, we all remember how insanely Modern Warfare 2 sold day one, right?
And
Modern Warfare 2 sold 4.5 million copies in the US and UK and within the first 24 hours. 4.5 million. Black Ops sold 5.6 million in the first 24 hours. That is a solid million more than Modern Warfare 2 sold.
Insane.
You just soak that in. And yeah, that's just crazy to me.
That's the world we live in. That's the world we live in, where people around the world... Actually, no, this is only the UK and the US.
Right.
I believe...
So, does this also settle the debate that Modern Warfare is not the brandable part of the name, that it is in fact Call of Duty that sells this game?
Yeah. This
I
pretty
mean,
much
I think that punches
fact.
that home in a big way. And I think it also punches home that, much to the detriment of Infinity Ward's egos, that Infinity Ward does not sell this game. It is the name Call of Duty brand that sells it, because most gamers have no idea that the whole Infinity Ward drama happened. And Treyarch took this over, and
Treyarch they brought it, but we'll have the review for that next week. So here, our next story: EA is taking over the Star Wars: The Old Republic's publishing rights. So previously, it was set up so that Lucas would be publishing the game. But as you know, there's been some trials and tribulations at LucasArts recently. They let go about 100 employees. They're restructuring. They brought in a new director. It's kind of a little bit of craziness over there. So I guess it's for the best that the Old Republic is going to EA, but I'm not entirely sure on all things. LucasArts is obviously still very much involved. This is the most expensive game project ever.
Ever?
Yes,
really?
It is the highest budget of any game ever. I don't have specific numbers, but it is, I believe, hundreds of millions. It's a lot of money.
Wow.
So hopefully, hopefully EA takes it home. I am looking forward to trying it. I don't know if I want to get sucked into the endlessness that awaits me.
Yeah, I mean, if I were ever going to play an MMO, it would be a Star Wars MMO, because I'm such a huge nerd, and I don't really care about orcs and elves and swords and arrows and shit.
But that's nerdish, man. I like orcs and arrows and elves. Don't hate on orcs and arrows and elves, man.
There's like levels of nerd in the nerd tower, and elves and dragons and shit are way above. They're like right up there with magic cards.
What, dude?
But being a fan of blasters and sci-fi, well, I guess that depends on the sci-fi. I don't know. What I'm saying is that I'm an elitist nerd, and that I find my own nerdy likes above those of
yeah, you're an elitist nerd.
Of Tolkien fans.
Well, our next story is that Gran Turismo 5 is actually coming out on November 24th. For real, Alex.
Yeah, I will believe this when it happens. You know what? Man, how long has this game been in development?
You remember when they released? It was called Gran Turismo HD Concept, and it was a free download as a teaser for what Gran Turismo 5 would be, and that came out in 2007. So
this isn't quite Duke Nukem Forever status, but it has been teased for quite a while now. And while this game has been being teased, the Forza series has begun and already reached its third iteration by this point. So 3 Forza games have come out in the time that they've been developing Gran Turismo 5.
So this game boasts over 1,000 cars, which has to be valuable outside of the game, because there has to be some sort of licensing deal because they now have access to super high resolution models of 1,000 cars.
Right.
So I have a feeling that they'll make money somehow, even if this game doesn't make up for 5 or 6 years in development or something crazy, even longer than that.
Well, I remember the last time I was in the Gran Turismo was around Gran Turismo 3, I think, and I got like 99.5% completion on that game. All I had left were the stupid 24-hour endurance races, which even I don't have the time for that shit. So, but I remember reading an interview with the game's creator where he said his end goal, his dream, was to create a car simulator where you could test drive any car.
And that's what he's doing.
10,000 or 1,000 is
10,000 would be insane. 1,000 is already insane.
You can test drive space rockets in any kind of vehicle. Yeah, so 1,000 seems like a step in that direction. That's pretty impressive.
If they have a 1993 Subaru Legacy, I'm on board.
Oh yeah?
I want to be able to drive my first car in Gran Turismo.
If they have a 1990 Pontiac Transport minivan.
Oh!
And I get to drive my first car. That was a great minivan, man. That was the one that looked like a doorstop or a space shuttle. You know, whichever side you fall on.
Doorstop or space shuttle.
I prefer space shuttle, but you know, it's just me. Yeah, I want to drive that in Gran Turismo.
We both have dreams, Alex. We'll see.
So
we'll see whose dreams comes true on November 24th. So our last story is Viacom is moving away from consoles and selling Harmonix. So this is huge news because this is a massive shift in the game industry. Viacom bought Harmonix, I think in 2006. Don't quote me. It was...
Yeah, don't quote you on that.
Don't quote me on that.
Just throw out a number and we will eat it up.
So they bought Harmonix. They were working with MTV Games, which, you know, subsidiary of Viacom, and they were putting out Rock Band pretty successfully, but Rock Band never quite sold the way that they wanted it to. It was always in direct competition with Guitar Hero, and I believe Guitar Hero has pretty much continued to outsell it. So, you know, they were basically saying, okay, great, Harmonix is doing all of these wonderful things, but the console business, getting out of the console business is more than just selling Harmonix. It is a fundamental shift in the way games are kind of viewed and our experiences are viewed, because if Viacom gets out, you don't know who's next. And right. I believe John Iger of Disney fame also said that they would soon be getting out of the console market. Rather than saying, let's support Tron and our other franchises that are coming out for console, he had a statement saying that they would soon be moving away from the console market. So what does that say for the future, Alex?
I don't know. That seems pretty bleak. Man, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't seem bleak as it seems like transformational. It's not going to happen overnight. But, yeah. I mean, what happens if something like a Gaikai or an OnLive streaming service comes out on top, or if they make the shift to social games, which I know a lot of people shit on, but in the future, when we get some real great franchises or translations that integrate social really well, people will not be hating on the social game market. Right now, game developers are like, yeah, Neener, you guys aren't as good as us. Look at the crazy shit we're doing in Uncharted. But when you're able to integrate details about a person's social graph into a game, it's going to get cool when people are actually using it like that. So, and I don't know if that necessarily is what they're talking about when they're moving away from consoles, but console development's incredibly expensive, and it's gotten exponentially more expensive as the push for AAA titles is stronger, and franchise development and continuation of an old franchise and stuff like that. It's very, very expensive to do these really high-profile HD games. But I think that it would actually be beneficial to adopt sort of an indie environment or an indie sensibility when developing games. At least, like, these developers should have small teams of creative people come together to make just cool new game experiences with crazy whacked up art styles, so we get some new stuff.
Well, that's in Dreamland. That's a great idea, but in real world, where these places, these publishers have to answer to shareholders.
That's true.
And they're saying, well, instead of having a structured setup, we're just going to go a little hippie on this and let people make whatever the fuck they want and see how it turns out.
Yeah.
They want these games to sell. And, when, they're not going to be like, hey, Treyarch, Call of Duty is great. How about you make an RTS? Even though
they are working
Microsoft did do that with Halo.
Yeah, but they are working on an action-adventure Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right.
But it is the franchise. I mean, it is still the franchise. So
right.
I just feel like if not totally getting rid of the crazy huge development, but maybe taking one of the large teams and breaking them up so that they can get more content and more potential new franchises out of experimentation and new waters. Like, I feel like the publisher model will fundamentally change when indies get a proper distribution channel, not like being hidden away on the Xbox, or I mean, I guess most indie games are actually just published through the PSN. It's not really an issue, but anyway, if things are moving away from consoles, it's going to fundamentally change.
Well, and when you're seeing hits like Minecraft take off,
yes.
And it starts off with one dude, and he just creates this huge phenomenon. It's like, what does that mean for the big time publishers? Mm-hmm. Like that is a threat to them, it seems.
Well, and it seems like such a no-brainer that they would be able to take a small group of people and put them on a project. Even if the project fails, they would not have lost as much money if, let's say, a big title fails.
Oh, and that's what some not that movie studios are a go-to for how to run your business, but that's what they do with stuff like Fox Searchlight, and they release lower budget films that aren't as much of a threat to their bottom line. Mm-hmm. You know what? If it fails, they spent $5 million making it, and as opposed to, oh shit, the Old Republic failed and we spent tens of millions making it.
Right.
So it's like that gives them a little more freedom, releasing smaller things like that, and people are perfectly capable of making that. Like I said, Minecraft, Super Meat Boy.
Yep.
It's a couple guys making that. Castle Crashers was a big hit. Mm-hmm. I mean, these small indie games, get a lot of publicity now through the PSN and Xbox Live.
Yeah.
Arcade. Finish that. That was a long pause. Yeah. Finishing loading.
So yeah, that's the last story. I think we're good on that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
I think so.
So that was the last story. Thank you for watching the news segment of Crunch Time. I hope you were informed this week. My name is Jack Bogdan.
My name is Alex Grinling.
And if you would like to find more information on this show, you can do so at crunchtimeshow.com, where you can also get information on our blip.tv, YouTube, Vimeo, TiVo, Netflix, Roku, all the friends over there in video distribution land. Let's see, what else is going on, Alex? El Juego, our other show that we do, a game design show. It's a whole lot of fun. We just had Randy Pitchford on, so go check that out. I think that's all plugs that we have to do, right? I think that's it.
Fantastic. That's all the plugs yeah.
All right. So thank you for watching the news this week, and we'll talk to you soon.